out the match.
Not to cut you off, but we are jumping in right now. They're starting, and actually not to make you eat your words, but it's going to be a control warrior, surprisingly enough, from KillaJive, and Neoseraph opens with the Druid. So, as you said, I actually
there we go.
I completely agree with your analysis, but you know, the Druid is actually extremely favored versus control warrior. One of the best matchups for it in the current meta, and we see table. So what?
I would think that that's a bit of an oversight if you know your opponent has Druid to open with control warrior.
Right, and as you mentioned, a lot of people, or I think Dan mentioned, a lot of people do open with Druid. So opening with a control warrior against a Druid is probably going to end up biting.
That was ballsy, yeah.
Yeah. We do see
a Nat Pagel.
Yeah, so this is, I'm very excited for this. I'm ready to go fishing. And I think Neoseraph's really hoping to catch some.
Nat Pagel and Ragnaros, which isn't really a Druid staple either.
Well, seeing this, I wonder, I think I only caught the last in the mulligan, and I do believe I saw combo pieces, so I guess it isn't a ramp Druid, but that Nat Pagel would, it's just odd, and I think KillaJive's just as confused right now. And he actually, funny enough, I mean, I guess you could coin Despite it, but is that worth it? I guess KillaJive does not want to go fishing, so he quickly kills off our dear old friend. And now Neoseraph kind of got an awkward hand here.
It actually makes me sad. Nat Pagel is a really cool card, and I wasn't good enough at the game to like have the resources to have a Nat Pagel back before he got nerfed, and so I totally missed out on the fun.
Yeah, he was an auto included a lot.
He went from incredible 2-drop to incredible Piloter Shredder drop.
Great way of putting it. Nat Pagel and Low Walker Cho are some of my favorite cards. So it's worth mentioning, Neoseraph doesn't know KillaJive is a Patron Warrior. So he might be he's probably really hoarding these keepers and stuff. I mean, I probably wouldn't drop those anyway, especially with the Despite sitting there. But he's gonna drop this Druid of the Claw, which this Despite's gonna be able to eat, along with a little encouragement from Cruel Taskmaster. Although it's gonna leave Killa with just kind of an awkward curve. And we do see that play. I think that's the only play. Like, I don't like leaving. I wouldn't throw Belcher down against the Druid. I think it's just you get out tempoed. Neoseraph now seeing that play and the Cruel Taskmaster, which has kind of been kind of phased out in a lot of patron lists. Do you run Cruel Taskmaster in your list, Dan and Steve?
I run one.
You run
personally.
one? Okay.
Yeah.
Dan, do you run one?
In Control Warrior?
In Patron.
Oh, I don't run any, no.
Okay.
Actually, no, I think I have one. Yeah, I have one.
Okay, so both of you still run.
They're just, it happens so often that you're like, wow, that'd be great to have, but I don't
it's such a versatile little card.
Oh wow, I actually got the Wrath Glitch. That's crazy. All right, I'll be right back. Okay. Oh no, there we go. Okay, so we see a quickly removed Cruel Taskmaster and the Shredder. And it looks like Killa doesn't want to leave things up, so he's going to use this Despite. What do you guys think? Dan, do you, as a Control Warrior player yourself...
My spectator mode broke.
I think mine did too. I'm going to have to do the same thing.
Mine barely survived. It glitched for a bit. Well, anyway, he goes with the Despite over the Shield Maiden, continually trying to remove these mid-range minions from Neoseraph's board. It does set up the Despite to remove a turn 7 Ancient of Lore, which looks like Neoseraph will be dropping. So it is going to work out. KillaJive trying to play the tempo game with Druid, and so far it's working fairly well considering he's missing a lot of removal. He's missing his shield blocks, or shield slams rather. He does have an execute. So Neoseraph does draw 2 with his Ancient of Lore, and
that BGH is a great pickup.
It's an enormous pickup. What's the play for Killa here? Well, without hesitation, it looks like he's just going in. It doesn't look like he wants to consider removing the Slightwell.
I think that's a fine play. I'm not sure about the Geddon though.
Yeah, the Geddon's an interesting play. You're already at 21 health, so kind of getting a little low against a druid.
I think with Alex and Grom in your hand, Geddon is really only played here to bait the BGH because Druid doesn't have another clean answer to it. So now you know that you're dropping Alexstrasza and not losing her to BGH. But I mean, this matchup is just so hard to win that I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, and this is where it's going to get really ugly for Killa. He doesn't really have the removal to keep up with the board, or the tempo of Druid, and now the combo, you know, he starts to be in danger of combos. If I'm Neoseraph here, I'm really going to try to push. I think I'd really try to get Rag out as soon as possible and really interrupt his late game minions.
Yeah.
That being said, I can see Killa doesn't have a BGH in his hand. Killa will be able to get a fair amount of armor this turn. And I wonder if Neoseraph attacked a little prematurely there.
What now?
But it looks like he's going to go ahead with the Wrath. He picks up Wild Growth, which is the worst card right now for him. And it looks like he's going to have to settle with like a Shredder or some other kind of mid-range. He's not going to be able to play his Rag. And he elects to actually go with the Keeper of the Grove and clear the board again. What do you, are you guys back in? What do you guys think of this play?
I would have liked
back out, but
Okay.
I would have liked to see the Rag because you know that you just played your BGH, and so if you're playing the mind game with your opponent, if you BGH'd a Baron Geddon that was put on a naked board, you're assuming that he wanted you to do that. So if you play Rag, you interrupt the turn 9 Alexstrasza for 15. So I think I would have played the Rag there to kind of seize the initiative.
Right. Well, worth noting, Neoseraph does get 3 minions down, and he has the combo in his hand.
True.
So I think this is game. I think
Yeah.
he could have brawled, but it would have been a really weak play that would not have won him the game. And Neoseraph was able to fill the board, and that's got to be easy lethal, right? 5 plus 6 is 11 plus 14. 25.
I have some kind of glitch. Is the card between Shredder and Wild Growth the Savage Roar?
Shredder. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I have some kind of glitch. It shows like
Some
a
kind of
0 mana
Warlock card?
purple card. Yeah.
yeah.
So that, yeah, I definitely would have made the play he made last turn. Then.
Neoseraph is actually 1 mana off right now. He can do 25 damage with his board and the combo, and that's not going to be enough. So this is an incredible Rag turn because Rag hits, if Rag misses, Rag misses. And I don't know if Killa's really going to have a good response to this. Neoseraph plays it and then Hero Powers. Instead of drawing with the Wild Growth, I probably would have Wild Growth myself, but maybe he's just trying to get a little more
Well, he was off by 1, and he wasn't want that happening again.
All right. So he snipes the Alex, which is huge. But this BGH is a great kind of false hope for Killa. I probably would brawl.
I would brawl and then BGH after the fact.
And he's
if
now
necessary.
so worth noting what Dan said. That one attack actually just gave Killa lethal, or sorry, Neoseraph lethal. That one attack, I said I would have blocked growth. I would have been 1 off. That one attack actually gave him exactly what he's now at 25, which is exactly what Neoseraph has with combo. So that attack was huge.
Yeah, that was a really good observation by Neoseraph.
And I think he's probably double and triple checking his math. But he does indeed have 25 with the combo. So hopefully he sees that.
What now?
And Killa right now is probably a little nervous. Because, I mean, Killa probably has done the math. If I had done the math before, I probably would have brawled and then BGH'd had Rag survived.
That's yeah, exactly.
I think
that's the ideal situation.
Right. So Neoseraph's gonna actually combo, and this might be a little tilting for KillaJive. Wow, I think Neoseraph might be lagging, or is he like really BMing? He may be lagging really hard. I'm not seeing him play or attack with anything. So
I'm not either.
Oh, I think he just lagged out.
Oh no.
Oh
And that's
wow.
huge. That's really big. I wonder if he's talking to Killa. He had lethal. He had exact lethal. KillaJive can really come back, and it looks like he's just gonna plunge on ahead. And he's gonna be able to. That was an enormous. You know, that was really unfortunate. He's gonna armor up, and this is probably gonna go to the warrior now.
Yeah, generally when someone leaves the game, they're gonna lose.
Oh, has he left the game?
I mean, he's not online on Friends.
No,
Oh,
me neither.
did he lag out?
Yeah, he's gone.
Okay. So our policy in the league is if you do lag out, you automatically lose the game. It's somewhat new this season. That's unfortunate. He had lethal, and it's just that's really unfortunate. Neoseraph played it really well. As we pointed out, that was like a really top-notch hero power to give him lethal. Unfortunately, it looks like he's having some connection issues, and KillaJive is going to survive to fight another day. All right, so game 1 going to KillaJive, and we're gonna see if we can get Neoseraph back on here.
Did KillaJive finish?
No, I think he's waiting for Neoseraph.
Right. Well, that's a sportsmanship play.
Well, I think he's just waiting for the game hasn't kicked Neoseraph yet, and he's roping now. So it looks like KillaJive.
Oh, it's Neoseraph's turn.
Right.
Never mind.
So this is just really unfortunate, and just one of those risks that come along with a online game. I mean, obviously, it doesn't really matter here. Killa might be a little confused as to why his opponent's roping. And it looks like, okay, so he is doing the gentlemanly play, which is really polite of him. And when that's waiting,
Wow, he's a better man than I.
A chance. Yeah, and it looks like even if Neoseraph were to come back, there's just really not much hope for him. I think the Blizzard gives you a minute after disconnecting, and we see Neoseraph just got back.
Yeah, he came online.
May actually make it back in this game. This would be one of the biggest comebacks if he is able to bring it back.
I'm not really sure how, though.
Right, it's going to be really rough. But it is possible if he were to get a swipe, it would be really big. He does have some pretty good minions in his hand. Druid of the Claw and Shredder are pretty good. So we see Killa finishing his turn, and it looks like Neo is back. We'll see if he plays. He's going to have to play something really quick. He's getting roped. And maybe he hasn't gotten back onto the client. He's in Hearthstone. Oh, so he hasn't gotten back into Hearthstone. He's just logged on. He's in Battle.net right now, I think. Yeah, and the rope does accelerate as the turns go. Really sportsmanship coming from KillaJive. And now this looks like it's pretty impossible. I mean, it was pretty rough to begin with, but
KillaJive is still the real MVP for this.
that MVC, that sportsmanship.
What now?
And now Neoseraph has actually reconnected to the game, so hopefully he'll emote or something to let him know. But going forward from Neoseraph's turn, I mean, I guess you can Belcher, you can, or no, I'm sorry, you can Druid, you can Pilot it, Keeper of the Grove, that's 9. Alright, so Killa doesn't play any minions, which is kind of odd. I think I probably, but I guess he's just trying to give Neo a chance. So Neo has to play something really quick. And did we just see a KT? We did.
We did.
Wow. So interesting deck here. Killa. It looks like Neoseraph has reconnected. Anyway, so that's going to be game 1 going to KillaJive. He was really respectful, giving Neoseraph a chance to come back and reconnect. Neoseraph seems to have some issues with his connection, and that's really unfortunate as he did have lethal. All right, so game 1 goes to Killa, and we're gonna hopefully get that sorted out. He gets his warrior out of the way, which is pretty big.
Yeah, that was pretty clutch win.
Yeah,
How unfavored that was.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a really tough situation. It's really unfortunate. Neoseraph would have gotten his Druid out of the way, and Druid's about to go up against Mage and Warlock, which are really tough classes for Druid classically to beat. So Neoseraph may really find himself in an uphill battle.
I think at this point you just leave the Druid on the side for now,
and just try to
hope for a 3-2 in the end, but be okay with a 2-3.
Right, I think that's a good point. I think you just have to drop it and use I guess Priest or what's the other? He's got Priest or Hunter, I believe.
Hunter, yeah. I think I would use Priest.
Well, that was the surprise of the night.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Hunter against Zoo or Tempo Mage. So.
Oh yeah.
And you're assuming your opponent's going to bring both of those because he knows you have a Druid. It would pain me to play Priest over Hunter.
Versus Malfurion.
Oh, he's just gonna come back with the Druid though.
Alright, so he comes up
and we see a hand lock.
Another hand lock. So that's 3 hand locks. That's 3 for 3 on the sorry about that.
The knight?
On the knight. That's pretty surprising. Now a lot of pros actually are saying that this is Druid favor. How do you guys feel about that?
I mean, anything with burst, I feel like is, as a handlock, you want to you play with your life basically, and things that have burst make it a lot harder to do that. So yeah, you can get nice big giant taunts up, but you don't want to just do that out in the blue for no reason, to try to just anticipate something. Although Druid does struggle with removal, so it's not the worst idea. But the fact that so much damage can just come out of nowhere means that your Healbot and your Jiraxis just don't matter.
Right, that's a fair point. Worth noting, as a handlock player, I like to coin tap if my hand is as atrocious as Killa's is. I mean, this is just an awful hand.
See, I think against Druid, I would have coined out an Ancient Watcher and then silenced it right away. So I have a 4/5 that's hitting the Druid in the face.
Well, he didn't have the silence until he drew it this turn, so he didn't know he was going to get that owl.
But I think you make the Druid anticipate you doing it, and then you mess with his line of play even still.
Right, drawing the owl, I think it's valid to drop the Watcher. Wow, this is the
demon handlock.
Demon handlock, and this is it's an interesting deck. So he goes with a really defensive play. He goes ahead and silences a Shredder, which I'm pretty sure Neoseraph's pretty okay with. He also,
what else does Druid have? They really want to. I guess Ancient of War if he's running it, but other than that,
which is really common on a lot of these turns. I don't think Neoseraph is running it, but we did see the KT. Of course, Killa's not expecting that, but we're gonna see. Wow, so an Innervate is picked up, and he does have the BGH. So Neoseraph's hand's pretty good, and on the contrary, KillaJive's hand is really unwieldy, like extremely bad. And that more.
It's really terrible because even a Void Caller at this point potentially puts him with a Jiraxis on the board, which actually against the Druid might not be the worst thing.
Yeah, it's fantastic, especially if you can like Defender Vargas it.
Absolutely, that's true.
Until Druid gets Mulch next week, and then everything changes. But that's for the
what an unintimidating
sounding
name for a card.
Yeah, Mulch.
Mulch.
Yeah, it's pretty silly.
I countered it with soil.
Neoseraph is it's interesting here. If he could just, what do you think about playing the Dr. Boom there? I guess he's. Oh wow, that is a Harvest Golem.
I totally would have been on board with Dr. Boom.
Oh, it's gold. That makes sense.
Yeah, you gotta play it. Swag value.
Yeah, right.
Swag value. So I guess he's trying to keep the Innervate for maybe Dr. Boom into turn 8 combo. And this Loatheb is actually, I would never Loatheb on turn 7. Druid's turn 7. Like,
no, because you're just Ancient Allure or
I mean,
Dr.
That's not the
Boom
scary
or
turn. Yeah.
Dr. Boom. There's so many turn 7s from
Yeah, this definitely makes Neo's decision much simpler.
And the Lothup's so important in the matchup, and now it looks like Neo's gonna have just a really quick win here. I don't think there's anything that can be done, actually.
And he's gonna get the Druid out of the way, which is a big deal
Right.
given the way the match is lined up.
And Killa's, this is not gonna matter, will it? I don't think it will. Let's hear it. I guess the bombs
It's relevant. Yeah.
It depends. I think it depends on what the bombs do.
Do you save up for double combo? Do you wait a turn? I don't think you can because
No, you don't even need to save up. No, you just do it.
Yeah.
You've got 2 innervates.
Oh yeah, you do, don't you? Oh,
You just do it. Well, he's not.
Wow, I don't think he saw that. That was lethal.
I didn't see the second innervate at first.
So I
That was
think
definitely lethal. I feel like we didn't even have to count.
he's gonna do this play, and this is just really odd. You have all these tokens out, and he's destroying them.
Mhm.
So Killa's gonna or is gonna Dr. Boom here, and now
Yeah, okay.
Neoseraph can do the double combo and have lethal, like, very easily.
Yeah, even still.
Wait, no.
Yeah.
He can do it, but it's actually not lethal.
Really? Let's look.
Oh no, he hero powers. He hero powers is exactly lethal. Oh my gosh, Neoseraph, do math, bro.
2 in a row!
Yes, they must say.
He had exact lethal with the second innervate into hero power.
Instead of a double combo.
No, he would have double comboed, and then
He's only at 9
can't
mana.
though.
He would.
Yeah, he has-
Yeah.
so he was one off. He was one off, but if the bomb hit face, it would have been lethal.
Fire Day, you gotta do math, bro.
Swag value. Bomb
Alright,
no space.
This is impossible.
Boom.
It's this lethal, right? Like, this is just not gonna happen.
Oh,
wait.
he's got a defender coming down though.
For
He's at 21 health, so he's at 21 health. He has to clear 2. He's got 2. Oh, that's lethal. That's
Now that you have the swipe in hand for next turn, you have to just go for this.
no, it's so much easy lethal.
Even if you don't feel like adding, you have to know, like, okay, I can just do a ton of damage and then swipe next turn.
My hand is nothing but combo pieces.
Yeah, it's all damage.
It's probably a good idea.
Time to do damage.
Oh my gosh, I honestly think he had. All right, he was one off last match.
If he lags out again,
Oh no.
I don't know what I'll do, but I'll be really sad.
I'll be so sad. All right, so he's got overkill by.
But
a
he's not
lot,
moving.
and he's not moving his cards.
He's not moving.
Oh Neo, he's already missed one lethal. I wonder if
Neo!
KillaJive. Oh, he's
Okay,
back.
alright. We
I
have
think he
moves.
was doing a lot of math. I think
We
he's
have
okay.
moves.
Savage roar.
Play that
Innervate.
innovate. Atta boy.
Savage roar. With the rope. Don't lag. Just don't lag.
Yeah.
Alright, so easy play. If I'm KillaJive, I don't concede because you don't know what's gonna happen.
And so there you go. Even if he had Molten Giants in his hand, they were useless and completely unplayable this
right.
entire time.
Yeah,
So
I'm interested as to why he chose a handlock over something like a zoo. He
Or
must just not
zoo.
be comfortable playing zoo there. Or
Alright,
wasn't
well-
expecting to find
Neoseraph
Druid get played again.
able to actually put the combo cards in place and get the win. So they're actually tying it at 1-1.
I
Neoseraph
think he
gets-
actually swings the matchup back in his favor there. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I do.
I think the priest is gonna be really troublesome for him.
I think the priest is going to do better against the handlock than it will the zoo, though.
It really depends.
I would totally
Priest is
agree.
Traditionally, really unfavored versus handlock. It depends. The priest we saw from Michael probably would do really well. Double light bomb is really good tech.
Yeah, I always just assume in this meta that if you're seeing a priest, it's a super control priest.
Wow. Well, from
Ooh,
Neoseraph
Call
standpoint
Master.
now, we've seen
Misdirection.
Misdirection and
Explosive
Call
trap.
Master.
My hunter sense is tingling.
Yeah, Steve is climbing into his smork suit right now.
Oh,
Ready to
this
sing a
is
s'more song.
awesome.
This misdirection is gonna be hilarious. I mean, I would love to see a giant misdirect it for lethal.
Face.
That's all anyone ever wants to see.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. So some really cool decks coming from
And
Neoseraph.
then he goes back to Web Spinner, so it's gonna be a slower hunter again. He
Right,
really just needs to pepper that hero power like as much as he can.
Well,
He said
Killa's
as he
got
slowly
things.
removed the smoke suit.
No, I don't like playing face hunter.
Okay.
I'm a mid-range guy.
That's what the Golden Hunter says, guys. We all believe you, Steven. We all believe
Yeah,
you.
well, I mean, I didn't say that I farmed all 500 wins as a mid-range hunter. I just said I like the deck better.
Anyway, so Killa has actually almost a perfect hand. This is.
I don't often care what my opponents think of me, but when I do, I play mid-range.
That's pretty funny. So we see Killa with a great hand. Neoseraph is going with the hero power instead of the coin animal companion. This Ironbeak Owl is and this is just
So
really
much value.
important for a hunter to deal with this early.
Now, that's a nice little bit of, yeah. That and then top decking the hounds is
a little synergy.
nice little something. Yeah.
Something. So we see the animal companion come down. Probably want to
Oh,
meet.
there's the Huffer.
Huffer
always
is
Huffer.
awful. I think I would trade with the Watcher. Yeah. It's
agree.
so
Yeah, you
bad.
probably have
Alex
to.
gets it for free. Dark Bomb gets it for free. And now he's about to be wow. Oh, and Killa knows. He knows.
And he's got no way to.
But he has a
respond.
way. He has misdirection, but not in his
Oh no!
So this is the battle of the and right now Neostraph's like, dude, you can't switch up your decks. You have to play handlock. It's like,
Right.
I know. So Misha's a pretty good answer, except when
Except when it
Mal'Ganis-
gives your opponent Mal'Ganis.
and he very astutely
Oh, there you go.
It's a heads-up play.
That is such a heads-up play. He's owling this is a deck that probably I think plays Twilight Drake, so pretty incredible play there. And KillaJive is going to clear board, maintain board control, and KillaJive's at a really respectable 25 health. Neoseraph really just cannot get anything going here. I think we'll probably see the bow and explosive trap and go face. I like that play a lot. And also what I really like about this play is it is a trap. It'll kind of confuse Killa's expected traps in the future.
Yep.
And so Killa's not gonna, he might expect future explosive traps. By the way, golden explosive trap is just so pretty.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
Traps in general.
Yeah. Traps in
Nice.
general. Hunter traps are golden. Oh, wow, and he picks up the second, so he really is trying to get this Void Caller out there, and he's gonna taunt it and be like, no. Mal'Ganis is coming. Oh, he doesn't
Kill
taunt
it.
So,
Life taps. Just come at me, bro.
yeah, he's...
All right, he only needs the hunter to do 1 damage to it, and then he can just dark bomb it to do the rest.
Yeah, that Mal'Ganis is itching to come out, and there's really no response from Neoseraph. I mean, I guess the kill command is something.
The
but-
Mal'Ganis is kind of an interesting include here because I feel like the majority of his value comes from being played on a board full of implosion imps or something like that.
So Strifeco
Just
is
as a
playing-
standalone guy.
Strifeco's been playing this deck recently on ladder
Yeah.
and doing really well. I think it's interesting.
He's also
deck.
Strife Crow.
Yes, he is.
Oh yes, he is Strifeco, exactly.
Yeah.
And
He
he plays
is in
it.
fact Strife Crow.
So this is really odd. And I
Yeah,
think
he
it's
missed a
about
hero
to hit.
power. Which,
Oh, I
if your opponent doesn't have anti-heal bot, I think you're still feeling okay in this situation.
Well, you're not gonna
Well, you're
feel
like,
it.
I mean, what has he got? Mal'Ganis. Oh.
Because if you're playing Demon Handlock, you know
Oh,
that if
wow.
that Void Caller's
Oh,
triggering
right.
anything, it's a big demon.
This is game.
Oh, yeah, that's...
He's actually, by playing a second minion, allowing him to clear Mal'Ganis with the Unleash and the kill command, but right now Neoseraph was like, he's
that
just
didn't
got
quite hit the
jaw on
mark.
floor. That didn't quite hit the mark, that's the best way to say it. So, you gotta Unleash, kill command, and just be happy that Mal'Ganis is out of the way. Also, Dan, this is probably why you bring Mal'Ganis. This is just incredible. And that's a
yeah.
kill command. That's just down the toilet.
That hurts.
That's an Unleash down the toilet. And that's your surprise hyena down the toilet. So, that's too many toilet analogies for one day.
Also, I mean, all I know about him is what he says when you play him, but he seems like a pretty proud guy. I don't think he'd appreciate being called the toilet.
Being called out. So
the award, yeah, definitely the award for hubris or most hubris goes to all the Warlock Legend.
Yeah, the Warlock Legend.
I hope Fizzlebang is similarly just super egotistical.
Did you play WoW at all or no?
Old
Answer
days.
truthfully. Answer truthfully,
I played
Dan. Don't you
vanilla.
sell me down the road.
So do you know the lore between Fizzlebang and Jiraxis then?
I picked up that he was the guy who summoned him, and he's got a pretty sweet gold animation suggesting just that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, well, let's wrap this up really quick because it's going to be a really quick wrap up. Actually, I think there's a lethal. Oh, he's one off lethal. Oh, he is. So if one of these move bots hits face. Oh,
Misdirection!
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, no!
Snakes?
Wow, is he playing one of every
Snakes is
trap?
actually really big.
Well, that's how you.
Yeah.
That's how you preserve the integrity of the secret.
Oh, but these juggles are killing Neoseraph. It needs to hit one of these. Oh, the worst juggles. So Neoseraph.
Oh, he leaves the beast alive.
Neoseraph avoids lethal somehow. And now.
It's gonna be fine.
So that was a really crazy play. Neoseraph doesn't pick up something to save him though. He's done. And so KillaJive is able to out-weird Neoseraph's deck and win most unique deck contest of the night. I love these guys and their text though.
Last week it was Fell Reaver, this week it's Misdirection.
Yeah, Mange with the incredible Fall Reaver. So
that was fun.
KillaJive's gonna get back on top with the 2-1 lead, and Neoseraph with the giving him the honor of killing him. And no BM from KillaJive. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Steven, so I was going to finish that game. So, yeah, the lore is he tries to summon a Doomguard, and yeah, he summons Jiraxis, who then kills him.
Yeah, and then that's why the Jiraxis
just like a
replaces
normal
your hero, everything is so cool.
No, and that's a great point, Dan. He tries to summon a... What's it called? He tries to summon a, it's like a super Doomguard. I forget the word. That's not the right word
He
for it.
calls it like a fearsome Doomguard or something,
Wait, and that's actually a card in this expansion.
Yeah, they're printing it now in the Grand Tournament.
So it's pretty cool they added both these cards. So anyway, cool bit of lore. That's your lore corner presented to you by THL and Cassidy. Hope you enjoyed it. So now we're gonna see a Medivh mage.
If it's lore, it's Cassidy.
And that's Freeze Mage. So a lot of uncommon decks coming your way from KillaJive here, and I'll be really excited to see Neoseraph's Priest. This is a really interesting matchup. I think a really good Priest player can win this very easily. But the thing is this. So basically, as a Priest, he's going to mulligan really poorly, which is really unfortunate. He's going to mulligan against aggro, and he's going to actually... That thought
picked up a Thought Steal, though.
That Thought Steal is huge. And so the way the Priest wins this is if the Freeze Mage player is a little too greedy and kind of uses Alex too early without being able to have a certain next turn overkill. So that's the way the Priest can win this, because he can bounce back, obviously, with all the healing. Additionally, if a Priest has like a really strong, if they're able to put a lot of pressure on the Mage, they can do really well. The biggest card in the matchup for the Priest is really the Injured Blade Master. If they can get that to full health, that's next to unkillable for a Freeze Mage. So I'm really excited to see this matchup. I love seeing Priest, and I'm Freeze Mage is my best deck, so I'm excited. So yeah, KillaJive is going to not want to give the draw to Neoseraph. That's huge, not giving the draw to Neoseraph. But he does want to get rid of this cleric quickly, so he may just throw the Mad Scientist out for one turn. If Neoseraph gets any sort of buff here, it would be enormous. He doesn't, which is unfortunate. So this is gonna...
And why wasn't it just isn't worth the burn to use the Frostbolt there?
Yeah, it's certainly not worth the burn. And actually, I really disagree with this play from Neoseraph. I would have taken the one draw. I would have taken the one draw and put the one damage on this guy, and that way he gets killed off next turn anyway. Now Neoseraph knows, he should know from these two cards that this is indeed a freeze mage. Additionally, the ping and the lack of aggro is indicating it. So Neoseraph is probably contemplating the next few turns. If I'm him here, I definitely would play, the Cleric's alright, the Arcanian sucks. This is an okay play. I also like the Arcanine was a really good play. Wow, that is a Shadow Pain. That is an enormous card. So Doomsayer has no answer. Priest can never kill Doomsayer. It's really, really difficult for them to do that. And if Neoseraph is really on it, he'll just hold on to this pain, and he could really punish KillaJive if he gets too greedy with that Doomsayer. So anyway, I'm sorry, I've been going on. I love both these classes and this matchup in particular. It's a really interesting matchup. You really want to get the Arcanine down early and just try to start pushing damage. Also, it's a great response to Emperor. And this is going to force him to... I guess you can Arcanine here, but I'd probably use my Death.
I would think, I mean, especially, I guess, unless you would want to save it for Antonidas.
Yeah, and that's fair. Actually, that's a good enough point that I probably would save it for Antonidas.
Because he's got more health, but in this case, you could just use your board with the Arcanine to kill.
Right, and you're really not progressing your hand well. It's like act like this is just not enough pressure. You have to put pressure on a freeze mage, especially as a priest. Like you really.
Man, that was some hand to get ET'd.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, that's an excellent point there, Dan. That's an incredible hand. He has the Alex included, and the Anto, and a Frostbolt. That's a huge hand.
And the Thalnos.
And the Thalnos. Yeah, the Thalnos is pretty big in this matchup, as you're probably going to be needing to really extend your burn. Although with this Anto at 6 and a Frostbolt at 1, this could quickly get out of hand. So Neoseraph is now, this is where, yeah, you really want to get that Arcanine down, and this is great. So he's now starting to apply a little bit of pressure, but this Ice Barrier, I don't think KillaJive's really feeling it, and he's got a great hand. I think he might go for the Nova Doomsayer, and this is where this pain is going to be enormous. I would be shocked as a freeze player to see a pain. So we do see the Doomsayer come down. Right now, Neoseraph is feeling really good. So he can pain, and then he can also play. I would probably Thought Steal pain.
I think so.
It's like a pretty good play. And then you have used 5, so then you can even Hero Power Face.
And you use Thought Steal to figure out what he has in his hand too, based on what you take.
So Killa's actually probably really bummed about that. Obviously, ooh.
I have no time for
Sylvanas is all right. It's okay. I guess it's a little more pressure. So we're gonna see Alex come down, and notably, Arcanine is down, so he can't heal. He has to kill off his Arcanine. I think right now Killa's way in the lead. This is really aggressive, but because he has the Antonidas next turn, and he's so high on health, he can afford to really push it here. So if I'm Neoseraph, I would, oh my gosh, you really, really want to kill off your Arcanine. Oh man. Well, he's gonna apply a lot of pressure here, but this is just not, you want to be healing like incredibly fast at this point. You want it to be healing 4 health there with the Holy Nova and your Hero Power. And this Antonidas is really gonna punish. He can Antonidas, he can and KillaJive's playing really, really fast. I think this game might just be over at this point, actually. That's really, he's gonna get punished extremely hard for not killing Antonidas here. And I think he might just be dead. He is. He needs
Even
to...
if he had healed up last turn, I don't know that really would have made
Well, if he
that
healed
big a
up
difference.
last turn, he would be at 13 health right now. And then he could heal up to 15. And he would be at least alive next turn. As it is right now, he needs to Thought Steal into something. He really needs to Thought Steal into an Ice Block, or Ice Block's really.
He would not have been alive at 13. At 15, he would not have been alive because of Thalnos. That one mana Thalnos, you could do 15 with 2 fireballs and a Hero Power.
Well, he can't Hero Power and do double Fireball with the one Thalnos.
Touché. Never mind.
Yeah. So but he would have been really tight, but he'd at least be alive. As it is right now, he needs to draw with this Acolyte. He needs to draw with this power shield, and he needs to find what. So Holy Nova. Okay, he needs to. I mean, Thought Steal or something, or draw. Oh my god. Well,
That's it.
that's a quick game. He's able to pop the block. I think he was trying to do both, but Neoseraph able to close it out. And I guess just to explain that a little bit more, he's dead to board. He knows that KillaJive has 2 fireballs, so fireball, ping is lethal. So he had to draw, and he just didn't use any of his draw mechanics. So that's why I was so adamant about the draw. Anyway, KillaJive able to really quickly finish off the freeze mage game and take the series 3-1. What did you guys think about that series?
After the commanding druid comeback, I thought we were gonna see maybe even a turnaround.
Yeah,
I did too.
I mean, and it is worth noting, like.